how yoga impacted to improve it. Now, all of you might be wondering that what this fascia is. So, first of all, I would like to say hello to all of you. And I am going to tell you each thing related to the anatomy and the physiology and also the preventions of what fascia is and how yoga helps it. So, if you have not liked my channel on YouTube, please subscribe to it and like the video. And let's get started. So, quickly, let me introduce myself. So, my name is Premasim Jain. I am a certified yoga teacher and an instructor. And we learn a lot about the body parts because that is how yoga helps, to heal them. So, understanding is very, very, essential and helpful in our field. So I would like all of you to lift your hand and then feel your skin basically. So if you will pinch your skin like this, as you are looking at the diagram, there is a very thin mesh or layer basically, which is called as the fascia tissue, the fascia. So just a moment, guys. Sorry about that. So, meanwhile, you guys start feeling the fascia. I am going to invite one of my friend. Hi Tejo. So Tejo, I would like to introduce Tejo. She's a data architect and she is also a art of living teacher. She is going to get certified soon. And I have got another friend joining with
Tejo.
me.
She's a data architect and she is also a art of living teacher.
So, and I'm also inviting Bhavani. Bhavani, you might need to work on the sound, it's echoing.
Architect and she is also.
Tejo, are you able to hear us properly?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I can hear you well.
Able to hear us properly?
Bhavani,
Yes,
I think
I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yeah, of
some
course,
tab is
of
open
course.
or
I can
something your
hear you well.
YouTube,
Are you
Bhavani.
able to see me?
Yeah,
Able
yeah,
to hear
but
us
we hear
properly?
echo.
Yes.
Probably
Bhavani,
some
I
app is
think
running on
Can you hear
your
me too?
laptop.
Some tab is
Oh.
open or something your YouTube.
Are
Bhavani.
you able to see me? Oh, what
Yeah,
is that in
but
YouTube?
we hear echo.
Yes.
Probably some tab
Tejo,
is
do
Hold.
you
running on
hear the
your
echo?
Here I
Tejo?
am.
laptop.
Yeah, I hear
Some
the
tab is
echo. I
open
put
or
Should I?
myself
something
on
your
mute.
YouTube. Bhavani.
So as soon as we take out Bhavani, the echo actually resolves. So we might need to work something on Bhavani's side. But anyways, meanwhile Bhavani is fixing that. So how are you, Tejo? How are things going with you, training and everything?
I'm doing good. Really enjoying the training. It's out of the world. How about you? How are you finding it?
So previously, when I see a blood or whenever I hear about tissues and muscles, I get like freaked out, like seriously, biology and all. But sometimes something magically is happening that I have started loving the subject, physiology
Mm.
and anatomy, and how things heals with yoga, and how actually the inner and the outer body parts are and how they function. So I'm in harmony with that, and I'm loving that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Now we are like behind the scenes, so we understand how things work behind the scenes, so we're not scared at the surface level.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So meanwhile, Tejo joins, Bhavani joins. Let's discuss about the fascia. So let me maximize that. So this is fascia. So what happens is, you guys might have watched the Spider-Man movie. So he throws the spider and he covers whatever thing he has to pull towards him, right? There is a net. So same way, our each organ is been covered with a very thin white substance net which is called as fascia. Fascia is nothing but the glue which glues all the organ systems together. So we know that there are tissues which creates the organ, and that organ basically is being covered all over the places so that it can hold its position. That is because of the fascia. So
Oh, yeah. Now all of us are there.
yeah. Hi Bhavani, welcome.
Okay. Now it's okay, the sound?
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So we were just talking about fascia, how like where is it? So it also has receptors. This fascia, this net basically also has receptors. So it keep on sending signals to the brain. And within 2 weeks, you might know that our skin actually regenerates. So let me show you the how basically our skin structure looks like. So you guys are able to see the skin structure right here.
Mhm. Yes.
So what happens? The fascia is not only at the level of the skin, but it is also at the level of the bone. So you can imagine you have a bone, then you have a fascia. On top of that, you have the organ. On top of that, below
Sina,
your skin,
ఒక్కసారికి ఇది వేడి చేయవా?
you also have the basically on top of that tissues or the organ, you have the fascia, and then you have the skin. So this is how what we are looking in this diagram. Now the question is how yoga helps and what are the things which fascia does. So you can imagine a net basically. Just a moment, let me show you something. Yeah, so for
I don't hear Prem. Bhavani, can you hear him?
No, I don't hear.
Yeah, he's either frozen or he's not live.
Can you text him? Chat.
Yeah.
In chat, say that we can't hear you. I think it's froze. There is a chat, I think. Tejo?
Yeah, I'm texting him.
Okay. I did also text him.
Oh, okay.
He became smart.
Maybe when we are not talking here, maybe we should mute ourselves.
Yeah, where do we do that?
So are you logged into this restream or are you
Yes.
on?
Restream, yeah.
So you see mute and the camera button and all that. So you can just mute yourself there.
hi,
Okay,
are
he's
you guys
back.
able to hear me
Yeah,
again?
yeah.
Uh, there was like some problem. I pulled up a wire, and that's how the Wi-Fi stopped. Now I am on the hotspot to connect it back. Anyways, so we were talking about the fascia, and I was trying to demonstrate. It is a net. So what the point I am trying to make that few people have the shoulder injury, and then the cause could be their back hip injury.
Hmm.
So, so it's not like that if your shoulder is hurting, you might have the problem then and there.
Hmm.
That is what the new latest scientists' discovery is revealing. And then they have mapped each organ that if I am facing the issue here, the fascia at the backbone might be broken or somewhere else. And how and why that happened, that's interesting to know. In 1980s there were a lot of c sections which were happening, like for even for very small thing they were doing c sections.
Correct.
And then they discovered that once they tear down that skin for the surgery fascia. So imagine this is a net, right? And inside the net, even if you make the hole here, if it is all the way stretched, the stretch will travel, so it will also suffer at the different portion. So the fascia is just like this net which is being stretched. If you do a cut over here, like any part, it would impact the entire stretch of this something of this cloth, right? So same thing happens with fascia. Now in yoga, what we do when we are in any particular posture, and when we are holding that for at least for 3 to 5 breaths, or let's say for 30 seconds, that's what they recommend in yoga. So there are two ways of doing yoga. One is what we see usually in this Western girls doing that yoga, or the LA fitness yoga, wherein the transition time is very fast. They do it mainly like dance or aerobics because their main focus is on burning the calories, and they do one asana after another. The problem with that there is parasympathetic nervous system, which is a involuntarily nervous system which actually helps to restore basically whatever the damages which has been done. So the Shri Shri Yoga, the beauty of that when you are doing the asana, you are doing with the Ujjayi breath, which brings a lot of oxygen or oxygenates your blood, and then you hold the asana. In the asana also, you relax for a while. Like teacher says, "Hey, now stay in the posture, enjoy the posture." That is where this fascia basically is getting stretched, and then what happens if you don't use those muscles, or it gets thinned out. But when you start using that, then it has the tendency to retain the oxygen, gain more and more oxygen, and then get the healing and the repairs done. So that is how this stretch thing, wherever are whatever the small holes which are traveling inside it, they start getting healed up when you hold that asana, and then you rest. So the rest is recommended like in each asana. Usually in Shri Shri Yoga, we get 10 to 15 seconds of the time for the person to breathe, rest, and then move on to the next asana. So that is how the parasympathetic nerve system during. So guys, if you think or anyone thinks that the I think Prashant, our one more friend, is online now. So
Oh,
welcome,
no, we are
Prashant.
not able to see anyone. Prashant is not visible.
Yeah, Prashant, we cannot see your video, but you are on air.
Oh, okay. Now,
Hi.
are you
Yeah.
hiding?
Hey
What?
guys, nice discussion.
I know, it's nice to see everyone.
The analogy of Spider-Man was very nice.
Yeah.
And you went and you were discussing that Spider-Man has gone and
Yeah.
now
All of
gone
a
to,
sudden, he
gone to
disappeared.
save the world with his fascia.
Yeah.
Nice, good.
Yeah. So, so Prashant, how is your training going on? How are you liking it? The anatomy, physiology part, especially. You're muted somehow. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, my experience is same as yours, Prem. That this was a subject I kind of hated. When I was in high school, I started, doing biology, and then after 2 3 months, I realized, and realization actually came from my teacher when she said, this is not for you. So, I, so I never liked that biology and anatomy. But like same like when I'm going through the yoga TTP anatomy, it's beautiful. It's kind of like I'm again getting the interest in this thing. So it's good.
Hmm. Wonderful. So, I mean, that is the beauty of the program, that as we realize our own body and mind, we start falling in love with that, and we start accepting that. So that's how I am trying to understand. So quickly, I also want to show you something, which is let me share my screen.
Okay,
Uh,
finish. You want to finish the fascia part or no?
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll conclude this, and then we in the next episode, which we'll go soon, we would talk about, basically there is a condition which is called as vascular vein.
Hmm.
So vascular vein, I did a lot of research, and my mom, she has this problem but I did not even know the name. I just have the intention that I need to somehow fix my mom's leg problem, and whatever the problem my parents or my brother or whosoever has in anatomy, I am getting those things and I'm getting the solution. So
Okay.
I'll try to explain the asanas and things and the problem and everything. So to conclude this, fascia is basically a white gnat. We can always see that in orange when we peel the orange. It is like that. Fascia is the glue which glues up or holds all the vital organ systems together. Fascia is a like a net basically. The Spider-Man has it, and fascia basically also has the receptors, so it keeps on sending the signals to the brain whenever I am doing any activity or asana. So there are two things happening. First thing is muscle is working. For example, when we talk about our tricep, so when this is getting contracted, the tricep is getting released. So
Okay.
both these muscles works in the opposite direction, right? Now these muscles, behind these muscles, fascia is the one which works basically, because muscle does not have like we can think of muscle memory. We'll cover that in some other episode. So muscle has some memory, but the signal to regulate the muscle, that is being done by fascia, because fascia is the one which is gluing, which is the receptor, and which is connected with the motor muscle. Motor muscle means once I touch a thing which is hot. So
Hmm.
once I touch that, brain sends the signal, remove the hand, and then that signal basically, whatever comes up, that is being transmitted to the motor muscle and motor action. Motor means movement, right? Motor
Hmm.
vehicle or whatever. So that motor action happens. And if there is any damage in the fascia, it travels for a long time. And there have been cases wherein by doing yoga, something which was damaged before resurfaces when you start doing yoga, and then it gets healed. So yoga is best in healing, and is actually by far the best exercise to basically heal the stretches or the net basically, which is called as fascia. And the reason being because when we stretch ourselves and hold it for a longer time, and when we take the rest, that time the parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, and then it heals. And once you have a clean stretch fascia, it would hold all your organs properly and get them work properly, and that is how the entire sciences physics behind it which works. So with that, I would close this topic, and we will start a new episode soon on the next topic, which is a very varicose veins. Fine.
Varicose vein. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a one question, Prem. Like you said, when we are holding in a final position of asana, right? So, like you told that what called parasympathetic
Parasympathetic nervous system.
nervous system will. What does it do? Can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So, our brain functions in two ways. First is through sensory organs, or whatever the fascia net, and second is through our hormones.
Hmm.
Let me explain you this. For example, I ate something, and then I am facing I ate something bad, something
What did
bad.
you eat? What did you eat bad?
For example, old curd, a rotten curd, right?
Okay.
Now I have to digest, and my brain has to sense that something wrong has already
Hmm.
happened, and
Hmm.
for that, pancreas has to release some of the enzymes or juices so that digestion can happen. So for that, the brain would release the hormone. So one function is happening through the hormone.
Hmm.
Second function is happening, for example, if I touch something hot, the brain will act quickly. Now the thing which can be acted quickly are easy, but something which is inside like your own body, for example fighting a cancer cell, fighting coronavirus or something like that, it cannot be done by nervous system. It's not an instantaneous reaction. So in those places, the involuntary, now there are two things, voluntary and involuntary.
Hmm.
Voluntary means which I can do it. For example, I'm raising my eyebrows, right? But for example, if I have to raise my nose, can I do that? No, right? Tongue, I can. Tongue is a muscle. I can rotate, do whatever. So
Hmm.
lot of systems which we have, and one of them is parasympathetic nervous system, which senses basically what is wrong. If I have a scar, for example, here, if it needs repair, so it would tell my brain, and brain will discharge some of the limbs basically, which would come
Hmm.
with the white blood cell. It might get clotted here or might get inflammation for a day or two, but after
Hmm.
that it will be gone. So all that
Oh,
kind of repair system is being done by parasympathetic nervous system.
okay, one more, a couple of other things. So, what is the benefit? We have these three, four things, right? Before we do asana, sthiti, starting position.
Hmm.
So, whichever asana, we take some time to get into asana, that is sthiti. For example, standing position,
Hmm.
thadasana. Are you all here?
Yeah. I just
Okay.
maximized you nothing.
Okay, Thadasana for standing,
Hmm.
and then we get into the asana, and then we have to hold in a position, and then we get out. Can you explain how does it affect on different systems in our body when we do asana in these four steps?
Sure. So basically, what is happening is once you come in the sthiti is you're preparing your body to go into
Mm.
some of the asanas. For
All
example,
right.
when we talk about vrakshasan, right?
Mm.
Vrakshasan. So
Yeah,
your sthiti would be your mountain pose, or we call it as a tadasan. So once
standing position. Yeah.
standing, yeah. So once we get in there, second
Mm.
position will be we will either inhale or exhale. It depends
Oh.
on if we are bending, like if there is a expansion happening or a stretch happening. So based
Mm.
on the expansion or the stretch, we would do our next activity, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then the most important thing is the third one, which is when we are staying in that posture. That is where
Okay.
all the magic starts happening. So, guys, it's not like that you just did it once and then come down and you think that I'll get the benefit of yoga. Lot of
Yeah,
common people,
but people do that.
yeah, holding it is very, very essential and necessary. And
Oh,
to get the actual benefit, you have to you have to uh, you have to hold the posture for a little longer.
okay. And then between two asanas also we should wait how much time?
It's 10 to 15 seconds minimum, but it depends. For example, you did Sarvangasana, right? Now all
Yeah.
the blood has rushed to your brain. Now it depends
Mm.
if you are normal, if you do it regular, or you're low BP, high BP, whosoever is there, right? So they need
Mm.
some time so that though they don't feel giddy, their blood and brain is all active before they move into the next asana. And I would always say how, as a teacher, how you're sequencing. So you can always do the counter pose of the sarvangasana immediately, or you could do all the poses which are like forward bending together, and then you can do all the poses of backward bending together. So that depends
Oh,
on the vinyasa flow, how you're designing your yoga class.
okay. And holding in a final position, how many seconds are we supposed to stay?
So final position will be 3 to 5 breaths is what they say. But again, for example, the plank pose in Surya Namaskar, which
Yes.
gives strength to your core, and if you are
Mm.
able to go deep and stay there for a minute or even 2 minutes, that is fine. I
So it
have
depends on.
it
Mm.
depends on person to person, pose to pose, and each day is different for each of us. So there is
Okay.
no hard and fast rule. The rule is listen to your body.
Okay. Okay. So is it necessary counter pose for every asana or in a daily practice?
So counter asana is necessary. Counter asana, what happens is it reverses the effect of whatever asana you are doing. Let me give you an
Mm.
example. For example, this is your backbone. This is
Mm.
just right. Now, if I bend it way too much and then if I release it, you see the tendency is getting
Yes.
bent. So what I'll do is I'll do the opposite side as well, and then I will release. Now, if you will see, it is little bit straight now. Why? Because
Correct.
I bend it way too much and I did the Viparit Asana. So now it is in balance. That's what we also do. Same thing for both hands, or since our body, if you cut our body from the facial plane, it is symmetric from both sides. So whatever we do, whatever the number on left side, same we have to do it on the right side, just balancing pose.
Okay.
And in Western yoga gyms, you might find there are a lot of injuries and all, right? The main reason is they'll do the weightlifting like here, and all the what they are doing is their back portion is being pulled down, and that is what they are done for the day. Now they have
Yes.
not done the forward bending in that, because they
Mm.
have no
Forward.
culture in weightlifting like you do forward bend and all. However, they have some kind of cool down which
Mm.
sometimes covers and releases their acetic acids which are created in the body. Acetic acid is nothing but when protein breaks down or when you do some exercises, it turns out in a acetic acid, and then if it needs to be flowed by the lymphatic system. If that doesn't, then it sometimes causes problem. So for the yoga people or like following the yoga nowadays, lot of gym practitioners, they are also trying to do the counterbalance pose of whatever the exercise or weightlifting they are giving to their students.
Oh, okay. And one more last question. Does it doing yoga, is it same as strength training in the gym with the dumbbells? Can we
So
achieve the same?
can we achieve what?
Can we achieve like in a at the gym we do the dumbbells for the strength training in bicep triceps? So would that kind of a goal can be achieved with yoga?
Look, now there are two things with yoga. I would the short answer or the direct answer is yes, and the indirect answer is both are targeted with a different approach. Gym is basically only working at the level of specific target group of muscles, right?
Mm.
So when you are
Correct.
doing those exercises using and tearing those muscles, they would get built up. Now with
Mm.
yoga, what we are doing, we are taking holistically the entire body, entire body. Like if you
Mm.
do Surya Namaskar or what we say Sarvangashan. Sarvang means all the ang asanas, all the muscles, 90% muscles get used up, right? So everything gets developed quickly, and the Nash or the mat or the fascia network which we are talking about, entire fascia of the body gets engaged at the same time in whatever
Mm.
asana. Most of the asanas they include, including Sarvangasana. Now coming back to gym, when you are working on a specific target group of those muscles, uh,
Mhm.
sometime you would see that that muscle basically gets built up. In yoga
Mhm.
also, if you do self weight training, you will get same tone and the definition of the muscle, but it would be pretty much balanced out in the body. Instead of I have a fat belly and I have good muscles, what you see in the bodybuilders, right? But if I
Yes.
will do 208 Surya Namaskar, I will get good core, I'll get good biceps, and all the other parts would be equally developed as well.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prem.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Did everyone leave?
Prashant is there.